Hi everybody, welcome back to the Bee Crafter YouTube channel. Today on Freehand Friday we are going to be making a art journaling background using the Dylusions acrylic paints. We're going to be making it in a sort of watercolour style, which means you can add whatever you want to it after, either with stamps or templates or anything like that, or of course you can just put a word over the top, or it can just be a lovely piece for you to frame. But I am working in my Dina Wakley blue denim journal. Okay, I've already taped a border down over one of the lovely sort of cotton cardstock pages. This is a really heavily textured cardstock, so I find it works beautifully to give you quite a bit of that texture as well. Now, the last time we did a sort of flowy background, we used the Dylusions inks, I think. But what we're going to do today, like I said, we're going to be using the Dylusions paint. Okay, now what's fantastic about the Dylusions acrylic paint is how you can use it so well, and you can apply it with so many different things. You can use blending foam if you like, you can use baby wipe if you like, you can use brushes and this sort of thing. So there's loads of different ways of applying it, and you get fantastic results pretty much every time. So they're really good. So we've got a selection of colours here. Okay, but what we're going to do first is we're going to wish our brush was clean. This is one of these, you know, when you're sure you washed them off properly last time, but you're just not getting that vibe now. But that's okay, doesn't matter. We're still going to go on. We're going to just put some water onto our page. I always do this if I'm expecting whatever medium I'm putting on to travel, okay? You have to give it something to travel with. It likes a companion, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to water these down, and we're just going to add in the blues in a few different areas. Now, we're going with sort of like, last time we just used greens and yellows, and they're really great because no matter how they mix, it's going to be good. But when you're mixing in other colours and you're bringing in other, you know, for example, say you're bringing in all the primary colours, okay, your blues, your yellows and your reds, that's when you have to be careful, because mixing those three colours together can give you mud. Okay, which is fine if you want mud, but if you're wanting more of a rainbow look, that's not what you're after, is it? Okay, so I'm just going to sit that on top of there because I'm going in for my yellow next. Now, when I'm going for my yellow, okay, I want a nice clean brush. I want nice clean water, so I'm just going to pour a bit of water in here from my mister, because I know that that's perfectly clean, so we can definitely get a proper yellow going on. Okay, we're going to mix that in. You're going to see how easily, and because you've got that water down, okay, look, all this sort of blending and wicking, it happens for you. You don't have to worry too much about it. You don't have to really get that involved. We're going to tap that big brush actually with some of that pink onto there. Look how that's wicking in. And your Dylusions paint is really blendable, and that's even when it's not watered down, to be honest. So if you like to blend your paints and things like that, these are definitely a one for you to have a play with. But you know, the whole point of Freehand Friday is have a play with what you've got too. We're not here to say, you know, you have to have these. Freehand Friday is for you to have a go with the products that you might already have. All right, see, we've lost a lot of our blue, haven't we? So do you know what? I'm going to go and grab the really big one, the number 24. And we're going to get some more of that blue. I think we might need just a little bit more blue paint. I've underestimated how much blue paint I want on here, I think. Do you know what? We're just going to dot it in. Dot it in a few places. Beautiful. Okay, so you can see how quickly you can create a stunning blended background so easily using your acrylic paints. But of course, we're not going to stop there, are we? No, we're not. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and do all of this in real time today. Okay, so I'm going to heat set this, you know, which is always an issue for me because I add so much water, don't I? But we're still going to give it a try. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry. Now, if you were going to be going on top of this doodling freehand, I would actually advise you to give it 24 hours. Give it 24 hours. Let it really, really dry. Do you know what I mean? Because whatever pen you try to use on here now, even if it's dry on the surface, okay, you're not going to get the effect you want. Even with something like a marker or a Sharpie, something like that, you're not going to get the effect you want because it's going to scuff up a little because of how wet the card is. So I'm just going to bring some of that blue out. I'm going to give that a bit of a spritz actually. Okay. And the reason I'm drying this now is because I want to add a few more details on, but I want the paint to sit on top. Okay. Almost like the blending section for the back, for the very, very back is done. Now we want to add in something else. Okay. So that's nearly dry. Right. Where that blue paint's a bit thicker, not quite, but that's all right. We're not going to worry about it too much. So we're going to get some of this blue paint now. Got some of this water in. This is a very big brush. We're going to sit this one on top. Okay. And then I'm going to... Where is my painty towel? I've got that as well. Oh. Don't tell Sam. I've still got some of hers from when we were at the TV. I will wash them. Okay. And then I'm going to grab some more pink. Of this beautiful bubblegum pink. It's such a good colour. Do you know what? And then I'm going to paint a few pink sort of half moons. And this is where you can go in with your paint a little bit thicker if you want. But you see how beautifully it sits on top. And there too. And there too. Okay. I did have another one, didn't I, for the yellow. Right, so we're going to take this yellow. We're going to concentrate that over a few areas where we really want it to shine. Now you can see it's still wicking out a little bit. It's not perfectly dry underneath. That's why you have to be quite careful. Okay. But we are going to put in a yellow over this corner. I've watered it down probably a bit too much. That's okay. A little bit of yellow there. Make sure we've got some yellow coming in over here. Okay. And then we're going to come in with our heat tool again. Move that to the side. And this is one of these things where I would really say, I mean, it's one of my favourite sayings anyway with your art journal, isn't it? Keep going until you like it, okay? Keep going until you like it. But I don't think there's much more I can do to this to make me like it more. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start peeling off some of the tape. Because I do get it so wet, I do get the leaking underneath. That's something I have just had to embrace, okay? You can use less water, obviously, or be more, or should I say be less gung-ho with it, and you will get much sharper edges. Or if you paint over your edges, for example, if you were to tape and then paint with white gesso, okay, you will also get a much cleaner edge. But I actually, oh, that one's really stuck. I'm gonna go that way. So I've let that damage it a little bit, but that's okay. That's all right, because that gives me an opportunity to show you how I would fix something like that. Okay, absolutely stunning. Make sure that's proper dry so I can fix it properly. All right, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my Distress Matte Medium. Okay, I'm going to be quite generous with it underneath this section. Never get the lid back on this properly whenever I seem to try. We're going to use a brush to just smooth that out. And then we're going to go over the top. Now, because this is a matte medium, okay, when that dries, it dries perfectly clear and perfectly mattified. So you're not going to have any trouble with like a shiny spot or anything like that. So, and this is what we also want to make sure we do on the Freehand Fridays. We're not covering up. See, I don't think that's really getting how bright and vivid the pink is, but it is absolutely stunning. Now, obviously, when this is dry, what I will do is I'll go in with my Posca pen, or you could go in with any of your paint pens, you know, and we're going to add in some awesome details. Because again, you're just going to keep going until you like it. And this is a great way. And if you're in the zone, you're having fun and you're enjoying doing these backgrounds, you can do several. Do several at a time. You know, have a few of your journals open and do several at a time because they're so much fun. And what it means is if you are using, for example, something like the Be Crafty transparency prints or your stamps, you know what I mean? But what I mean is if you're using something like a Be Crafty transparency print, which we went through last time, you can put those straight over the top. You don't even have to really do anything else. Whereas, and then your stamps or your words, or you can add a bit of stencil work to it. So this is just a way of giving you a really good, easy base. So, you know, if you have days where you don't want to get painty and messy, when you're doing these, that's the time. Maybe add in a few extras, okay? We'll do some of my favourites up here. And then down here too, so they really stand out. Like I say, I would save your pen work really for 24 hours after. It will show up much brighter then, okay? But you can always just pick out little bits of the paint splats and add in those details. So why not, as spring is not springing, go and grab yourself some of your paints, some of your inks, and have a go at making a fun and funky, watery colour but vivid background. So this is sort of, you know, watercolour but intense. All right guys, thanks, bye.